My experience is a little more even elevated than that. In our community up there on the West End, there were houses scattered throughout there before they built the school, and we were related to a lot of them. I mean, I'm related to a lot of people in this city. Um, and growing up, we all played together. We played at each other's houses. We walked through the woods. We played in the woods. It was really a wonderful area back then before they really developed it. I mean, because it had so much to offer for children. You know, in our yard, we had fruit trees, plum trees, pear trees, cherry trees, apple trees. All of that was destroyed with when they came through it, and that's understandable to build the new houses there and to build the school. But when we were growing up, kids could play happily outside. You didn't have to worry about them, and there was no problem with another family parents correcting you like they were correcting their own kids, and that was just standard. Everyone looked out for everyone, and everyone looked out for everybody's kids. It was a very safe environment. You kids could go out there and play until 9 o'clock on a Friday night when there's no school Saturday. You could go out there and play until 9, 10 o'clock on a Saturday. And your parents didn't worry about you because it was just that safe. I remember we would go over to the Episcopal High School and run around and play. There used to be a pond there, and it used to freeze over in the wintertime, and we'd go over there and skate on the thing. But it's since gone. They've since dried it out. I heard once that there was an incident that happened there. And since I'm not sure what it was, I'd rather not repeat just hearsay. But they did smooth that over, and it's no longer there. And we used to play there all the time. We used to run all up and down and play along Seminary Road. I remember going to this lady's house that my parents knew. Her name was Kitty Carey, and she had horses there. It's right up on Seminary Road near the synagogue there. She lived there. Now and all that property now has been turned over, and they've built some expensive homes back up in there, probably about 4 or 5, I'm not sure. And we actually used to go over there, and she would let us ride the horses with her kids and whatever. And of course, you know, we didn't do that too much because that's a liability, but she would let us play with the horses, and we would run all up and down. My father was in the Army, and we used to go up Seminary Road with him, just tagging along, running along with him when he would pick up his check. He got an Army check for a disability check, but he was in the service during World War II, part of the 25th Infantry. And that was a fun experience because we walked through the woods with him and just saw everything there was to see along that path. And it was just a really nice, fun time, I think. I enjoyed it. My parents did a good job of sheltering us from a lot of things that were going on in the outside world, outside of that little small community. I remember one experience, I think it was during the late 60s, so I'm 72 now, at my school, Blessed Sacrament. I think it was the March on Washington. We didn't know much about that. We were kind of sheltered from all that. But I remember all of the folks coming here, all the black folks that were coming here, and some needed places to stay. Where I remember our church basement at Blessed Sacrament. I remember that they housed some of them there, and that was the first time I saw something like that, where people were doing those kind of things, and questioned my parents too about, you know, all that. We'd hear about it, but we didn't see it. And that I never forgot that. Well, they told me about the March on Washington and what happened with Martin Luther King and all that. I remember that, and I remember I remember when John Kennedy got shot. I was a little kid in school, and I was probably 4th grade, 4th, 5th grade. And I remember at the school it was announced, and we were all sad. I mean, it was like, oh wow, that was profound that our president was slain. So I lived through that, and then lived through back in the late 60s with Martin Luther King being slain and Robert F. Kennedy being slain. And it was those were profound incidences with me, because I couldn't figure out why, even then, as a later teen, it was like, why do people do this? Why would someone want to hurt someone else? You know, so those things were profound. Well, Old Town, it's gorgeous. I remember when I was growing up, we didn't come down much, and I remember the river was not a very pleasant thing to smell or be close to, but now it's absolutely beautiful. So I've seen the renovations that have taken place down here. It's just ginormous, and it's just made for a beautiful environment. I come down here a lot, at least a couple times a week. I'll come down for dinner. In fact, I was just down here yesterday on Mount Vernon Avenue at RT's restaurant, picking up dinner. Some of the other things have changed. I mean, the whole area's changed. I had something. Even on the West End, it's changed. The Bradley Shopping Center. There used to be what used to anchor that shopping center was the G.C. Murphy's. All of that's gone. The Alexandria Health Department. Now that's a big change. I used to work there when I was back in the early 70s. No, not early 70s, late 70s, mid 70s. I worked there when I got out of college for 2 years, 76 and 77 through 78, I believe. And now it's turned into townhouses. They're beautiful, but I still remember that as a landmark for the health department. Now I understand the health department's out on the West End. When we were little, we used to go to the health department to get vaccinations and things, and get medical services and that kind of thing. So that was a profound change. Just the whole beautification of the city is just really gorgeous, and still maintaining that historical perspective of the city. That's really great. This is really a great place to live. Oh yes, I used to come to the library. We used to come to the library and read books and take out books and things like that. In fact, I was just here a couple, not last year, year before last, because last year I didn't make it for the annual Black Family Reunion. I came, and so that was really good to come back to the library for other purposes. In fact, a few years ago, I came down here and got my passport renewed. So it's, yeah. So I'm in and out of the library. Not as much as I'd like to be, but, well, the fact that my family has been here forever, it seems, since the 1700s, and down throughout the history, we've maintained property on that West End. My family is still here. Actually, my brothers and sisters all live here. If that's not love for a city, I don't know what is. My youngest brother got married, moved away, and he moved back. When he got divorced, he's remarried now. He moved back to this area, and it's just the area. I've been all over the country, and there are some great places out there, but there's nothing like home. I've been all over the world, but I still maintain Alexandria as my home base.
What is it that makes Alexandria stand out?
It's hard to describe, really. It's just in your blood. If you grow up in a place that you liked and loved, that love doesn't go away. It probably just grows. And I'm very fond of this area and the people who lived here. It's just a friendly town. The people all get along. The services are great. The amenities are great. It's become a little expensive, but it's a beautiful place to live. And the city does great things to preserve things like what is being done around the city on different parts of the city. I mean, it's a very inclusive city too, I'm seeing, and I really like that. That is one great thing to see, is how inclusive Alexandria is. I'd just like to say thank you for doing this. I think this is a wonderful opportunity to get people's stories out, to see how people lived in Alexandria, how they worked, played, and lived here.